I'm sure it's going to be a really interesting session. So there's me, Wendell Wesley, and it's lovely to have you here. So welcome and thank you very much for joining. And I'm going to hand over to Nicholas, who will help us and assist us in terms of our technical requirements. So over to you, Nick.
Thank you very much, Wendell. Hi everyone, my name is Nick, and I've been supplying basic tech support for this webinar series. Please bear in mind that as attendees, you're currently muted. Organizers and presenter have the ability to share their screen with the attendees. You will see the window that formerly showed the webinar name, now showing pictures of the organizers. There I am. In the same way, the presenter will share their presentation with you. For the attendees, you'll have a toolbar on the top right-hand side of your screen. With this toolbar, you can access two important things. First is the raise hand button. This is generally used when we're taking verbal questions. During the allocated question time, the presenter, Nicole, allows verbal questions. Select this button and it will highlight you to the facilitator and organizers. We'll then unmute you and prompt you to speak. The second is the option to type in a question that will be seen by the presenter and organizers. Due to potential mic problems amongst attendees, we usually default to written questions. In this scenario, I'll transfer any of your questions to a Word document that can be seen by all participants via the share screen function. Please feel free to send through written questions during the presentation. I shall keep track of them and display them during the question period. If there's any worries or tech issues, do send questions through to me as well, and I'll try to attend them as best I can. In the past, we've had issues with sometimes the sound going out for certain attendees. We have found that simply disconnecting from the webinar and then reconnecting using the initial link that you used to connect sorts out the problem. But as I say, please feel free to send me any messages or queries and I'll try and help you as best I can. Thank you, and over to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nick. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. And as Wendell mentioned, welcome to the 9th webinar in our series of 10 in our digital influencing webinar series. Today, we will be looking at managing your social media. So as we've mentioned over the past few weeks, we are all confronted with a whole myriad of social media tools. But managing these can seem quite daunting. It can seem like a colossal task for us to take on, especially given that within our job and within our job roles and responsibilities, we are required to do just about everything within our job requirements. So managing social media is just one of those things that we're going to think of as a thorn in our side that's just going to take up way too much time. But today we're going to look at some tools, namely TweetDeck and Hootsuite as tools for managing our social media. So let's first start and take a look at what social media management tools are exactly. Social media management software is generally understood as a set of tools designed to manage or analyze interactions through multiple social media accounts from a single dashboard. So that should tell you that, yes, I can have my Facebook, I can have my Twitter, I can have LinkedIn, I can have Instagram, I can have YouTube, and here I'm introduced to a tool that will allow me to manage all of these platforms, all of these technologies, all from one single dashboard. So most systems permit listening for brand mentions, and by brand we mean we are going to speak about brand as meaning our organization. So be it Sweat or be it Black Sash or be it Wozamoyo, that is our brand. Posting to multiple channels and running marketing campaigns from within this dashboard. They include analytic packages to measure the relative success of our campaigns. Within this broad definition, there are distinct use cases which emphasize different feature sets. So basically, social media management software usually involves both listening and publishing or engagement capabilities. So let's stop and listen to and focus on listening and sentiment analysis. At the most basic level, social listening incorporates scanning the web for potential PR crises, identifying industry trends, gathering intelligence on competitors, and identifying opportunities. But the quantity of data these tools can return may be overwhelming. Many tools have filters to help remove noise, and some include sentiment analysis which helps to categorize comments into positive or negative categories. But this is still somewhat of an inexact science. So, yes, for many of us, we think of our Facebook pages or we think of our Twitter pages, and we just think of all this content that is coming through on our news feeds, on our Twitter timelines, things that we just don't care about, things that we just have no interest in. One of my favorite examples are the everyday things, which are unfortunately what Twitter is used for, is people who are saying, oh, today I had a hot dog for lunch, or the person that's saying, tonight I'm going to the movies and I'm going to watch Cinderella, or whatever the case may be. It's people that are sharing their everyday, their any in the moment kind of content. Whereas we are more interested in what our donors might have to say, or what our partners might have to say, what our immediate audience might have to say. So social media management tools helps us to listen, helps us to filter all of this content that we are more interested in. And then it's about publishing and engagement. So publishing means scheduling posts for publication to social media channels in advance. So if you think about this social media as this huge task that we have to take on, and knowing that you have to write that concept note, you have to write your proposals, you have to do the budget, you have to do the training, you have to do the facilitating, you have to plan the conference, you have to plan the training, etc., etc., etc. Where in the world are you going to find the time to do your social media activities as well? So these social media platforms makes it easier for you to manage these kind of activities. So publishing functionality is designed to simplify drafting and publishing posts to multiple social channels according to a predefined schedule. So you are able to create your post well in advance and post it to your Twitter, and we'll go through this later on both platforms, both TweetDeck and Hootsuite, and schedule for exactly which date you'd like it to go out on, and at the specific time that you would like it to go out. So when multiple people are promoting different products or services across many different channels, this becomes a broad necessity. So if the intern is also doing your social media, if the communications manager is also doing it, or if you as the director are doing it, then all of you are basically going to need the login details, and then this makes a tool such as social media management tools so much more necessary, because you'll be able to all manage it by having this one dashboard. Most tools include a publishing calendar for staggering messages and ensuring that they are congruent with one another before publishing. Some tools also feature content libraries where users can reuse pre-approved content for their own campaigns. Engagement-focused tools enable multiple employees to interact directly with customers on social media. So if you think about all of the people that are tweeting you, that are mentioning you in a tweet, or that are addressing you on Facebook, and then if you think about all of this content on your timeline, all of these mentions, all of these tweets and so on, basically all of this noise, using a platform like TweetDeck or Hootsuite allows you to focus in on who is mentioning you, who is addressing you, and you will be able to see this from within one panel. So what are the benefits of using such tools? So using either of these social media management tools can help you promote your business or your brand or your organization. This is a way to increase engagement among your audience. You can easily track statistics and track results, and we will have a brief look at this as well. And also, just to stop there, if we think about our Facebook Insights, these tools also offer the same kind of monitoring and evaluation tools for managing and monitoring your social media activities from this one dashboard. Then you can also easily manage multiple social media accounts on one dashboard. Hootsuite sends you a free weekly email of your organization's online click summary, which tells you number of clicks per day, geographical information on the people who clicked on your name or product, top referrers, and most popular links. We'll look at this briefly as well. So let's start off with TweetDeck. So TweetDeck is a social media dashboard application for management of Twitter accounts. So somewhere along our webinar series, I think it was Sue, if I'm not mistaken, but okay, forgive me if I'm wrong, but someone asked the question, how can we manage multiple Twitter accounts? So TweetDeck is the answer. TweetDeck allows you to manage your own personal, your individual Twitter account, as well as your organization's account. And if you have multiple accounts within your organization, you can manage all of them from this one platform. So TweetDeck supports, like I said, it offers support for multiple Twitter accounts, gives you customized timelines, real-time updating, night or day mode, filters for certain terms or phrases. And if you will remember our whole discussion around Twitter and the whole hashtagging system, this is exactly what we're speaking about. You are able to filter certain terms and phrases. Lists are easily accessible. So if you have been subscribed to specific lists, you'll be able to filter them and be able to view that list only. And you can do tweet scheduling. So why would you want to use this? For employees who have personal Twitter accounts, TweetDeck makes it easy to switch from one account to the other, or even use both simultaneously. On your TweetDeck dashboard, you can see three important panels at once: your timeline, replies, direct messages, and it is easier to manage friends and followers. Before I move to the next slide, I just want to give you a brief look at what. So you have your home, you have your notifications, you have your messages, and you have an activity timeline. So if you were to have a page, if you would be managing your organization's Twitter account, you would also have a separate column for your organization in addition to your personal and or your individual Twitter account. Okay. So why would we want to use it? How would we use it? Excuse me. So firstly, you would create a Twitter account, of which some of you already have after our first session on Twitter. Then you would literally just download TweetDeck onto your laptop as a separate app. However, you can use it as within your browser, within your web browser, you can use your Twitter as well, your TweetDeck as well. Then we can see who tweets constantly. You could see your tweets constantly running down the dashboard, as you can see over here. It's constantly being updated 50 seconds ago. And you can separate the tweets into direct messages and at replies. You can see the string of tweets from an individual user and tweet within the app itself. Basically, you can see everything you want all at once within an organized and separate column format. So some more ways you could use TweetDeck. You can check tweets from others in one column. You can get other things such as replies in columns. You can add groups which get their own column, and all messages will show up there. So even if the reader is away, that person could check everything he or she has missed. It is an easy way to find and follow topics of interest with a quick and intuitive search feature. So let's look at all these features. So let me rather look at it from within my browser. Okay, so here we have the compose update. So if you would like to create a tweet, you would simply click on new tweet, which is indicated by the feather and the little box over there. You can, if you are managing your organization's Twitter, you can say who the tweet would be sent from. So it would come from me as an individual, or I would be able to select from who I would be able to select from my organization, and there would be a list as well. So let's just leave it at that one. Let's just welcome everyone to the webinar on social media management tools. And I can literally just click tweet, but wait, I want to add an image first, and that's how simple it is. And I'm going to add this one about our digital influencing learning event. I'm going to add that to my tweet, and I'm going to simply click tweet. And my tweet has been sent. So if I just scroll up, my tweet will appear in my home screen. Then we also have the search function. So today we have a big discovery at the Maropeng, at the cradle of humankind, where Homo naledi has been found, and this is a big topic of discussion right now. And of course, Twitter is abuzz about this discussion, and so we can just do a quick search on hashtag Maropeng, and we are able to filter and see all the tweets that are coming through and that are being made about hashtag Maropeng. We can see all content. So if I click on there, I can see showing all tweets, excluding, I can say which words should be excluded. I can say which language it should have been written in. And I can say retweets can be included or excluded. Then I can also say any user out there that's tweeting about this subject. I want to see all tweets by anyone throughout the world that's tweeting about this. I want all of these tweets to come within my search filter, or I want to say specific users. So maybe I can actually say Oxfam Australia, for example. However, because I'm interested in what the rest of the world has to say, I'm going to say all users. And then I can even say mentioning myself or a specific user. So for example, if Oxfam were to be included in a tweet, I can then specify that they must be included. However, I want anyone. I want mentioning everything mentioned about it. And then of course my engagement. So I want all retweets. I want at least all favorited tweets and at least 0 replies. So I want all, and therefore everything will appear in my search. And then I can simply click add column, and this will now appear as a separate column with all content with hashtag Maropeng. I can also do the same thing about a person or a specific user. So if I want hashtag Oxfam in South Africa, to be a column, I can just click on them. Oh, I want to search for them. Sorry, I want to add a column about them. So I can go and click. On there, on the big cross sign over there, plus sign over there. Click add column, and I can go and look for user. So if I want to search for everything, or if I want to constantly see a flow of content about Oxfam South Africa, I can go to the plus sign, click on user, and type in okay, that is not working. Oxfam and South Africa. Let's see. Okay, it's not picking up our Oxfam South Africa, but let's just use Oxfam International, and I can add them as a user column, and I will only see all of their tweets, all of their mentions, all of their activity will appear as a separate column on my dashboard. And you can see that they've made a tweet 48 minutes ago around Ireland to accept 4,000 refugees and so on, with a link. And all of this, we can also do the same kind of activity within our dashboard, our TweetDeck dashboard. So let's just go back to our home column. So notifications is this column over here. This is specific to my activity, who has followed me, who has retweeted anything I've said, if I've tweeted to someone. So Wendell over there has tweeted to me in our previous webinar 41 days ago. She has tweeted me, and this would then appear in my notifications column. Then I have also sent messages to KLM. This is where my messages would appear and the response from them also appearing over there. If I would like to write a message to anyone, or I'd like to reply to them, I can simply click on that icon over there. I can do that. Let's say hi to Wendell, and I can send Wendell a message all from this one panel over here. Then we also have the activity icon. So with the activity icon, this shows everyone who I am following and their activity. So who they are following, their retweets, who they are favoriting, what they are favoriting, anything and everything is appearing in the activity column. I can also then filter, and that can be done by clicking on this icon over here. You will see I can click on filter over there. So on all of my panels, I'm able to use this toggle, also known as the toggle bar, the toggle icon, and I can filter whatever it is that I would like. So if you look over there, I can filter what kind of tweets or what kind of tweets I'm seeing in my messages. So I can filter it by images. So of course, none will appear because I have received no messages with images in it. Words matching, excluding, retweets, etc. So also again with Maropeng, I'm able to click on that toggle bar over there, and I can say I can filter out the type of content that I want to see over there. And then again, I can do my search. Okay, that one is specific to the search that I've already made about Maropeng and around a icon, a hashtag icon. I'm getting confused again with all the terminology. And my user over there, that's who I have made a search for. If I want to get rid of that one, I can also just click on my toggle icon over there, and I can remove. If I'm tired of seeing all Oxfam's tweets and mentions, etc., I can click on it. The same with Maropeng. I can just simply click on it and I will remove it. And you will see my navigation bar on the left, minimizing, decreasing all the activity that I've removed from my dashboard. I can also expand my navigation to tell me exactly what is happening in my navigation bar. And then, of course, we want to be able to add multiple accounts, especially for those of us who are managing these things within our organizations. And that you can do by going to accounts. So click account and add another Twitter account. So in my case, I'm not managing any other Twitter accounts. However, you would be able to add the username or email and add the password, authorize the app, and as simple as that, you are ready to go. You will see another panel like this on your home screen, on your dashboard screen. And then very much the same as with your Twitter, on your Twitter account, you will be able to see your profile. You will be able to see your mentions, people who have mentioned you. You will be able to see your accounts. So if you are managing multiple accounts, you will be able to see that over here. Then you will be able to see lists. So if you have subscribed to any list or if you have created any list, you will be able to view it over here. And your collections. create collections of content that you are interested in. And then the really nice thing about TweetDeck as well is that if you are a group or especially in our organizations where you are perhaps the communications manager, however the intern is busy doing tweeting for you as a rapporteur at an event, and they would then be using TweetDeck as the way to as the dashboard that they'd be doing the tweeting from, then you can actually create a team of staff members and their Twitter handles, and you'd be able to just simply add them over here. So let's see if I can add Wendell. And it's not finding Wendell. There we go. So I can add Wendell and she will be able to. I'm giving her authorization and she is now a contributor to my group as a team member on my TweetDeck. So as a group, as a team, we will be able to tweet for our organization in the name of our organization without me having supplied Wendell with any login details either. So she would be able to then go and contribute and be the rapporteur together with me if we're doing it together. And she'd be able to tweet in the name of the organization. And okay, so as she would be able to tweet in my name because I have given her the authorization to do so. I can also make her an admin and where she'd be able to tweet and manage the team. Okay, so that is a really nice feature on TweetDeck that would really simplify matters and simplify things for you within your organization, especially if there are multiple tweeters within the organization. And then we just have our settings. So your keyboard shortcuts or your settings, like how you'd like your dashboard to look, if you want it dark or light. So this is simply around your, if you'd like narrow columns, it's basically around your layout and your design, how you'd like it to look, how you'd like it to appear, if you're happy with small fonts, if you'd narrower columns, and so on. I kind of like that. So over there you can see, let's go back to our home screen and then we'll be able to see what has been the latest activity. Okay, back to home. Just close that, and now you can see our narrower columns and all our notifications and the home screen. Then, of course, as mentioned, we spoke about being able to let me just add messages back there. And just close that. As I mentioned earlier, we also want to be able to schedule tweets at a specific time, mostly because we are busy. We all have different things going on at different times, and we simply don't have the time to be tweeting or sitting on Facebook and so on at any given time. So here we are able to schedule tweets. So let's say, looking forward to seeing you all next week at our last webinar. And you simply click schedule tweet. So your scheduled tweet will send even if TweetDeck is not running at the time. So if I am asleep and I schedule my tweet for 2 a.m. in the morning, so I can simply click 2 a.m. over there, and I want my tweet to go out on Monday the 14th, and I simply click on the date. You click on here and then you say tweet at 14th September 2015 and your tweet will be scheduled over there, scheduled. Looking forward to seeing you all next week at our last webinar. And it is scheduled for 2 a.m. So those are the really nice and simple features of TweetDeck and how you can use it to simplify your everyday activity, your everyday work activity. And then, of course, we have Hootsuite. Sorry, all my just seem to be a bit slow down today. Okay, so Hootsuite is the most widely used platform for managing social media, loved by over 10 million people around the globe and trusted by 744 of the Fortune 1000. Why it is so popular? Because as opposed to TweetDeck, you can actually include your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, and your Twitter accounts all from one dashboard. Of course, this sounds like a much more appealing dashboard to use, but we'll go through all of the nice features as we proceed. So Hootsuite helps you save time by monitoring, analyzing, and posting messages to multiple social networks from within one easy to use dashboard. So exactly that. Imagine being able to looking at one dashboard instead of having multiple screens open like this, multiple panels, tabs open, one for Facebook, one for Twitter, one for LinkedIn, one for Instagram, one for YouTube. Whereas with Hootsuite, you can do it all from one screen. So this social management tool saves you time, saves your sanity, it increases your productivity, and it's a social media solution in one convenient place. It connects you with over 35 popular social networks. It's about engagement. So if you remember at the beginning of this webinar, I spoke about listening, about publishing, about engagement. So Hootsuite is all about engagement and all about listening. So it gives you the ability to manage all your social networks and schedule messages for future publishing. Hootsuite gives you a wide scope of your social media activity. So it's also about listening. So what is your audience saying about your brand? So you can find out, engage them, and save the day with Hootsuite's best-in-class social media monitoring tools. I can use say firsthand from firsthand experience that this kind of platform really does save the day. Imagine having to manage your Facebook, your Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus, YouTube. I'm not too sure what that one is, and LinkedIn, and having all of these tabs open. And as I say, I've witnessed this firsthand coming from the bank where you have millions of people, thousands of South Africans complaining about the brand, complaining that your internet banking is down, complaining about this, that, and the other, that they are not able to log in, that they are not able to um, access this or access that. And of course, as the little social media expert or consultant rather, you are not able to assist them because this problem might be more technical. And again, because there are so many of these kind of complaints coming through and happening all day every day, you get kind of lost having to respond to all of these people. So a dashboard like this really helps you in being able to manage all of that conversation, and it helps you to engage them in time so that they do not feel ignored, because I'm sure many of you are those customers who have complained in the past. And of course, if you aren't responded to within a certain period of time, you get frustrated and all you want to do is pull your hair out because your bank is not listening to you. Well, the same applies to various other brands across the globe. So social media has become the platforms, the place where people go to complain. And of course, within our environments, people are also possibly complaining and maybe also just want simple information. They want to know what you are about, who you are, how you can be of service to them, how you can be of assistance to them. And if you miss that message, they feel ignored and they feel like you aren't a credible or a organization that values them. So here is a space where you are able to actually be engaged with, or you engage with your audience in time and without them feeling like they are being ignored. So Hootsuite, it's a pretty cool and layout. It's very simple. And again, as mentioned, you can have your Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn all in one space. So you can have the URL shrinker, you can have schedule posts, you have tabs for different social media, you can have business statistics, and you can have columns. Now, the business statistics are a very cool feature, which we will look at shortly. So let's take a closer look at Hootsuite. So I've left my Hootsuite quite bare for us so that I could add a column. Over here, you can see my Facebook timeline and then also the Twitter timeline. Before I continue, my apologies, you have to of course sign up for Hootsuite. That is done very simply by also just going to hootsuite.com and registering. You can also register your multiple social media accounts as simple as once you've logged in, you will go to add a social network. So click on plus, add social network, and there it will give you all of your networks that you are using and managing. And of course, we've also looked at WordPress, which is also a feature, which is also a social network that you can manage from within this dashboard. So for those of you who are using your WordPress blog and have enabled the comments feature, people may be commenting on your articles, they may be commenting on any of the content which you've written. This is a space where you'd be able to respond to those comments, where you'd be able to manage all of the conversation happening on your blog. For those of you who are using Google Plus, exactly the same way as your Facebook, you can see your timeline of activities and you can see what people are saying and what they're doing on your page, on your news feed, and you'd be able to interact with them from this dashboard. So for the purpose of this presentation, I will show you LinkedIn. So simply click on the social network that you would like to add, and then add LinkedIn profile. To allow Hootsuite access to your LinkedIn account, you must first give authorization from the LinkedIn website. So it's going to pop out to a separate tab, opening LinkedIn, asking for my permission to connect. So I simply click on connect with LinkedIn, and LinkedIn will import my groups, and it has found my networks and my personal profile. So I'm happy with just my personal profile. Oops, no, I do not want to remove it. Finished importing. Oh dear. And sorry. And connect. And it is loading. And I want it to add me. And success. Whew. And I thought we had success. Sorry. Let's try that again. Okay. No, I do not want to add a stream just yet. Let's try that again. And sorry all, everyone, this is working earlier when I done this. So let's just add that group. And it is loading and it is still not adding. Oh dear. Well, that was where it would work. Then you can also add another tab. You can title this tab, so maybe your individual profile, and you can create one. So that would be your personal information, your personal your personal accounts. Then you can also add the ones for work. So let's say you are, and for that you can simply add another tab, and you can add a stream. So a stream would be you can add your social networks, excuse me. So I can connect with Twitter, and let's see if this will work now. So I can demonstrate how you would add these things. Oh gosh. And okay, so let me rather just add one of these. There is my LinkedIn, which didn't want to appear over here. So let's just go back to individual. Let's see if I add a stream, if that would work. And add social network. Okay, and let's hope that it's done. And no, unfortunately, my apologies all. Anyway, let's add a stream to my individual accounts and my Facebook events. I'd like to add that as a stream. I'd like to have that appear on my dashboard. As you can see, there's stream added. So now it will show me all of my events that I've been invited to, and those which I've clicked that I'd attend or have declined in this case. And I can also determine how often my Hootsuite must refresh. And it's refreshing over there. And then I can also show you my different streams. So there, if I click over there, these are all the streams that I've added. Then I can show you the publisher. Right, where are you? I can show you that we have a drafts scheduled, past scheduled, require approval, expired approvals, rejected. So at the beginning of this webinar, we spoke about how that you are able to, that publishing means you can schedule posts for publication on your various channels. It's the functionality is designed to simplify your drafting and publishing of posts, and that you are able to approve and reject previous future drafts, future posts to go out. And then, of course, I can say from where or which profile the content needs to go out to. So let's say I would like it to go out on my Facebook. I can compose a message that says, hope you are all enjoying this webinar. And I can add a link. So let's go to our Oxfam in Access WordPress blog. Let's add that as a link to our post. I can copy that in, and I can literally just click on shrink, and you see it is already generating the link for preview. As you can see over there, it has done that, and it is giving me a preview of the link that is displayed there. I can add an image, although I want my link preview to be the image, to be used as the image. Then I can schedule my post, very much like with TweetDeck, where I could select the time and date for my tweet to go out. I can also schedule it. So I can say that I want it to go out now on the 10th at the time right now is 2:52. So I want it to go out at 3 p.m. and over there, but 3 p.m. And I can also then say email me when this message goes out. You can also use a bulk message uploader. However, you need to pay for these kind of features. And I'm happy with my my post. I can then also say that I want it to go out on my Twitter and on my LinkedIn. All of these platforms will receive this message at 3 o'clock at 3 p.m. today, and I can schedule it. So I can now view my scheduled post that will go out on all three of my profiles, which I have listed. Past scheduled, there will be none, but there's a nice calendar over there that helps you to preview your content and helps you to see content that you've created or scheduled for schedule. Then those that posts that requires some approval. So if, for example, other staff within the organization are creating content and they are also using this platform, you can then approve their posts. And you can also have a rejected so basically the trash bin. And then the really nice feature on Hootsuite is the ability to be able to view reports. So for those of us who have signed up for the Facebook Insights, the Facebook webinar, we went through Facebook Insights. Here you can also get the same kind of analytics, the same kind of reports for monitoring your interactions. Unfortunately, you have to have worked on your Hootsuite for a number of time and earned some points for you to use these features. However, you are able to get some basic things such as the overviews of who's been viewing your page, who's been clicking through, how many likes you've received, and so on. So let's just click on, okay, I don't have a Facebook page, so let's see if we can do the Twitter one. Okay, no, let's not do it like that. So let's do a Twitter one. So I can look at my Twitter account, my personal individual Twitter account. So if I have, which is advised, and which I have advised in our previous webinar, that on Twitter that it is advised to use links to click through back to your website, back to your blog, back to content of interest to you. So here you'd be able to see how many people have actually clicked through to your links, and especially because this platform does it all for you. As you saw when we created the tweet, you were able to add a link and it shrunk the link for you. In our webinar on Twitter, we went through Bitly as a platform for shrinking your links. Here on this platform, it does it all for you, so you don't have to use other websites. So where you'd have to open another tab, bit.ly and shrink and copy and paste your links from there and back and forth. Here you can do it all from one platform. So here you'd be able to create and generate a report about who has been following you, how many followers you have gained over the weeks or months, your popular links, and so on. And great stuff. You can share it via email, you can PDF it, you can create a CSV, you can print it, you can duplicate it, you can edit it, and you can trash it. So a nice, really, really good tool to have is because it really measures your engagement, measures your interactions with your users. So let's, again, here you would have had to I've used the platform for a while. earning you some points, allowing you to use the platform, allowing you to use and create these reports, but something I would definitely advise so that your social media monitoring is so much more detailed, so that it is so much more meaningful, so that it really means something for you to have actually invested so much effort and time in creating or using these platforms. Then we have the ads, of course, on Facebook. For many of us who I have gone into, really dug into what Facebook can do for you and the power of Facebook. You can manage your Facebook ads and sponsors and etc. and promote your content from Hootsuite. Of course, we want to do this if we have a budget for it. For those of you who were in the Facebook webinar, we looked at this a little at this briefly, where you can boost a post and you can add a few rands you can buy some ad space, which would basically mean that your ad would appear on thousands of people's profiles without you actually even being friends with them. So it's also just a little bit like boosting your likes and boosting your friend requests, but it's basically boosting your likes and making sure that people see your ad and reaching people reaching them with your content that you've made available, and just unfortunately you're paying a little bit extra for it. And then you can manage your organization. So very much like with TweetDeck, where I added Wendell as a team member, here you are able to create your group, your organization as a team, and you can all be a part of a part of this Hootsuite team and tweet and Facebook and LinkedIn status updates all from this one platform, all from this one dashboard, and everyone can be involved. Then contacts, so here you'd create lists. This is specifically around my people on Twitter, the people who are following me on Twitter. I can also look at who I follow, people who I follow. So I can actually see who are the people that I'm following and who are the things and people of interest to me. So you can drag a user, click and hold on a user thumbnail and move the mouse, position the user over a list and release. So I can create a list of people that are specific, are of a specific interest. So if I know that that it's newsworthy content or it's around news specifically, I would then just click on that profile and I would add them to my list around news. And then here we also have the app directory, and this is also another function that makes Hootsuite so much more sweeter, so much better, is that it has hundreds and hundreds of apps that you can also use and integrate into the platform, making it, of course, so much more useful for you if you were interested in doing so. So let's just look at some featured apps. Right, Relevance Pro, however, here you'd have to pay for these. Instagram, TrendSpotter for Instagram, etc. And then, of course, the free apps that you don't have to pay for. So nice is YouTube, but we won't go into all of these. Download any of these today. Tumblr. Some of you may remember Flickr we've used for managing our photographs, and so again here you are able to manage, you can integrate this app with your Flickr platform. Then just some settings. You can look at your account, where you can build your account. You can add a avatar or your image. Just provide your full name, your company name. So for me, I will just say for today, Oxfam South Africa, and webinar facilitator. And I can just simply save account info. But first, let's see what preferences are there. Use Twitter web retweets. I can add all of this kind of information. Language, archives. So if I've archived any kind of content, so that's also nice to know that I can save some content for later. Then I can also have an RSS feed. and then vanity URLs, so domain names which I have specified for Owly, which is the Hootsuite shrink program or software that they use to shrink the links. So I can actually create my own vanity one that I am custom creating for my for whatever content. Then notifications, I can play a sound. I can say when I want a notification, when someone likes my post, when someone comments. This is of course very useful, especially if you around this idea of listening. I know this is very literal, but if you don't want to miss any kind of notification, here you can actually say when and at what point you want to hear or be notified. So when someone comments on a post, I commented on, send me a daily email digest of recent conversations. This is also, of course, very nice to have, because then you can have a collated document of all of the conversations that has happened for the day. And also nice to have, if you are scheduling your messages and for some reason it had failed to send, you need to have notification of this. Otherwise, how would you know that especially if you've scheduled it for 2 a.m. in the morning, you want to know that your message has been sent. And then, of course, as we saw earlier, where you are able to create an organization for your team, you can have been notified when a message requires approval, or if a message has been rejected in pre-review. And then also auto schedule. So you can schedule up to 5 messages a day between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. Of course, this is awesome, because now we really are taking this idea of scheduling and refining our processes to the T. And simply save your settings. And you've updated your settings. And then, okay, it's just some nice tools. So the partner programs, mobile apps, and then your help desk. And let's go to TweetDeck quickly, and just go to our home. Let's go to our profile to see if our scheduled post had been made. In fact, let's just go to Facebook. And over there you can see our tweet, our post, our status update, our tweet, LinkedIn update, all the platforms we sent it to. You can see over there that it has been made from Hootsuite, and you can see over there it has been sent via Hootsuite. So that is a real in real time indication of how a status update is, how it is scheduled. So yes, Hootsuite is a very handy tool, also helping you to add location. You can add a location, so you can say, so it will want to ask where you are situated. Of course, this is also nice because for geolocation purposes, so it can refine or filter rather the type of tweets and content that is coming onto your news feeds for Twitter, for your Facebook, for your LinkedIn, and so on. Oops. So yes, both TweetDeck and Hootsuite allows you to save time by streaming all social profiles into one management system. So this enables you to post the same thing to multiple channels at the same time. It's the best way to reach all of your customers the fastest. The big difference is that Hootsuite's features allows you to update your business and brand pages. Think about your audience. Not all Facebook fans are the same as Twitter followers. So with social media management systems, you can communicate with all your customers. However, while doing it all at once, you can be doing it. You can send the same message. While you can be sending the same message to everyone, you can write it in a different way. Don't forget the 140 character rule for Twitter. And in the case of Facebook, you have 2,000 characters. and LinkedIn 689 characters. So your message will be tailored for each platform. Don't forget this. Write it so that you are providing all the necessary information that you want to communicate to your audience. Then just some more about the features. Both services allow you to upload photos. However, TweetDeck gives you 3 different photo services. So you are able to add it from different they provide you with different platforms from which to upload your images. This doesn't really make that huge of a difference, because the nice thing is that they're still giving you a platform from which to upload your images. Hootsuite uses its own URL shortener. As you saw, it gives you Owly, OW.ly. And then TweetDeck again gives you the option to choose between 4 different URL shorteners. And then if you were to choose between the two, of course, the winner would be Hootsuite. It is a great management tool to promote business or a specific brand. TweetDeck seems to be better for personal use as far as your Twitter accounts are concerned. TweetDeck does not offer as many special features as Hootsuite does, and deciding which to use should depend on your preference and what fits your organization's social media strategy. Both services offer great tools to help you expand your business and, most importantly, get engaged with your audience. So again, if we look at our TweetDeck, and if someone tweets me, I want to be able to say, I want to be able to respond from that panel immediately. And so I can just say, even though this was 42 days ago, oops, I thought it was 41, I can just click on the reply icon and click tweet. I can also then just simply retweet it from this panel as well. I can also favorite the tweet from Wendell. I can click on there and I can see a whole list of things that I can do with this tweet from Wendell. And again, it's giving me the left navigation from which to look at it. So let's go to our Hootsuite, and you'd be able to see the same things. So over here, I want to add a stream about my Twitter. So I want to add my mentions where on TweetDeck, this would be my notifications. I want to add those to that as a stream on my dashboard. And over there, you can see who has mentioned me. I can also add messages. I can add my tweets. So let's add the tweets that I have made. Oops. And over there, you can see my response to Wendell, as well as my retweet of her, of what she has said. So this is on my personal dashboard. Now, if I go to my work, I can then go and add the same, all of my work accounts, all of the company or the organization accounts. I can go and add each one as a stream. So I can add our mentions. I will not be able to show these because I don't have these as a page or a organization page, organization account rather. However, I would just go and click on it there, and okay, it's adding my personal one anyway, so that's nice as a way to show you everyone. I can show scheduled tweets, which is also, of course, a nice thing because I want to see what is happening, what are my scheduled tweets, when are they scheduled to go out. And of course, if my team members have made any scheduled tweets, these will also appear over here. So yes, as you can see, both platforms have their own unique capabilities, own unique features, sets of features that are useful for us, that would be of great use for us. And it's of course up to you as an organization to determine what would work for you. If Twitter is your thing and Twitter is the platform that you'd like to focus your attention on, then TweetDeck might just be the way to go. Hootsuite, of course, because you have so many platforms, because there are so many social media platforms available, you are able to just use one dashboard and add all of your accounts in one space. That is our webinar on social media management tools. I hope you all found it interesting. And if you have any questions, please feel free to share right now. Thank you, Wendell.
Oh, thanks, Nicole. That was really interesting. I enjoyed Hootsuite and TweetDeck. I must go and have a look. I was thinking I must sign up for Hootsuite. It looks like a really good platform.
It really is a useful
and
one.
I think I will. Yes, I don't know why I haven't done it in the past. I see we've got some questions that Nick has put up. So Spare has asked, is Hootsuite available on mobile or is it only on desktop? And Charlene has asked a similar question in terms of, is it available on cell phones?
So I'm not too sure about that. Let's have a look. I do not think that it is. I do not think that there are mobile platforms. But simply because, oh wow, there we go. It does have a mobile app. Let's see. You can manage your mobile app. So that is nifty. So I guess, yes, you can. Look at that. I wouldn't think it would, but that of course is a great way because then it really takes your social media on the go. You can download it from your App Store or your Google Play Store. And yeah, that is brilliant. Thank you for asking that question.
Are you looking on
sorry, you're not sharing my screen anymore. Sorry.
That's okay.
So yes, you can literally download the mobile app. Just 1 second. I see you sharing. So Hootsuite for mobile. And it says I'm not authorized all of a sudden. That's odd. But over here it showed it to me. So over there you can see you can download it to your App Store, from Google Play Store. So for your Android phones, you can also download it. So yes, you can really take your social media, all of your platforms, all in one go from one platform. I did have TweetDeck on my mobile at one point, and I guess because it was only, especially the last slide that I shared about which one wins. Twitter, of course, if you have the Twitter app on your phone, it makes TweetDeck kind of useless in that regard, because if you have the app, then why would you need another app to manage your Twitter accounts? So you do have TweetDeck for your mobile, but again, if you have the Twitter app, then it doesn't really make much of a difference. But over there, yes.
Both are, both are free to use and download.
Yes. However, if you do want the more advanced kind of tools and features, then you would pay for them. But in our case, if you just want simple things, if you just want to be able to tweet or Facebook status updates or LinkedIn status updates all from one dashboard, then this would be the way to go. It is free. So I would, it's a great dashboard.
And I saw under TweetDeck, they were talking about verified users as part of the search criteria. So what is a verified user as opposed to a normal user?
So I'm just trying to.
Or is there a different? Non-verified user.
we non-celebrities, are still normal unverified users.
It was one under.
I actually laughed the other day. I will show you an example of a verified
Oh, you
user.
have to be a celebrity.
It's quite funny because I have no idea how you manage it or
Oh,
how you
you have to be
become
an
one.
important person.
I guess you have to have acquired a certain amount of followers in order for you to become a verified. I wanted to say certified, might as well be the same thing. I'm sure many of you will know who this
So
person.
important people are verified users.
Well, I wouldn't know so much as important because I'm going to see who I'm searching. Many of you may know and recognize him if you are following idols. He announced about 3 weeks ago that he was made a verified. He got his verification. Come on, now at the end of our webinar, my network is failing me. But so Mizi from Idols announced a couple of weeks ago that he was verified, a verified user. So that you'll know a verified user by this little tick icon next to their name. So again, okay, he's got 309,000.
Oh, I wondered what that tick was.
That is an indication that you are now a verified user. Again, I'm not sure what would make you make one. I think if you reach a certain number of followers and tweets, then I guess you would become. I keep wanting to say certified, but I guess they're one and the same thing right about now. But yes.
Oh dear, Nicole, you're not a verified user.
I know. I'm not famous enough, unfortunately. Trevor Noah is also verified. I think you just have to be very, very popular.
And then I was really interested to see the team functionality on the both TweetDeck and that's really nice function, because I know a lot of times you might have a manager on the platform, but then you also need some other people who might be contributing tweets and managing the creation of some of the tweets. And
Exactly.
I liked the functionality on Hootsuite where one person could have the kind of the publisher and management and overview function to kind of approve or moderate some of the tweets going through.
Exactly. I love that function myself. Did you receive any notification that you can now be tweeting on my behalf in my name?
No, I looked out for that one, but I haven't seen anything come through, so I don't quite know how I access your account.
Oh dear. Okay, let's see if I
Maybe
add you
it's a
as
good
an
thing.
admin.
That won't be.
So there I'm adding you as an admin, and you can now tweet in my name.
Ooh, so how do I tweet in your name?
So
I think that's a bit scary.
I guess this of course would be of course most useful if you're doing it on behalf of the organization. If you are doing it so as everyone is contributing and everyone is publishing content in the name of the organization. So I've gone back to Hootsuite, publisher. Come on.
And Nicole, so on Facebook, when you have multiple admin users, and they posts onto your page. So say, for instance, where there's more than one Oxfam person admin on the Oxfam in South Africa Facebook page, when that person posts, it comes up with their name from the admin side. You can see who actually posted.
Yes.
So although to the outside world it looks like it's just an Oxfam in South Africa posting, from the back end you can see whether it was Wendell or Nokatsula or Pile who had posted that particular
post.
Correct.
That's correct.
So does the same thing work for on Twitter and the other platforms, that you can see if you've got a team tweeting?
Yes.
Can you see who was the actual person that originated that tweet?
Yes, and especially if you're using a platform like this one, like these, where you can see where you are managing the team from where you are able to be managing this team from. So yes, exactly this functionality applies.
Okay, so that publisher function is really quite nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to click on it again and it's just not allowing. And I'd really like to show everyone that, like we were speaking about now, the different roles with scheduling
Different
of
contributors.
posts. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not
Hmm.
playing
And
nice.
I was thinking in terms of scheduling posts, it's quite a nice functionality as well. So many times we might have audiences who are in different parts of the world and would be on different time zones. So I know, say, for instance, Wozamoya might have a lot of followers from the States or maybe Australia, and they're on very different time zones. So if I had to do a post, or if Wozamoya had to do a post in the South African time zone, people in other time zones might miss out on those. So I quite like the functionality of being able to schedule posts and to do repeat posts in different time zones almost.
Absolutely, and that's what I think that's the best benefit, the greatest benefit of being able to schedule posts is exactly that you can speak to audiences across the world in their time zone, and it won't appear as a repeat for your South African followers, for example, because that's of course your worry is that it will appear as spam to your South African viewers or people on the same time zone, the same time zone as you. It's of course your greatest fear is that it just looks like spam, but of course they'll be sleeping by the time your US followers have a view of it. So yes, I think this is the greatest benefit of scheduling posts, of being able to schedule posts. And again, like just to reiterate around the Hootsuite especially, is that you can do it for all of your platforms. If you can just see on the screen, you can select that it must go to all of your platforms. You can add a link. It really just simplifies everything because you really don't have to be going to Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn to be able to create one post. Whereas you can do it all from one space. You can even shorten your link because that's something I've stressed throughout this webinar series is that you should add links back to your website, back to your blog, add images just to make it more appealing to the eye, add your location so people know that this is where you're operating. All of it just, yeah, it just makes it also such a nice combination of all of your activities in one go and just bam, gone.
So do you think you should add a link to your website for most of the posts on Facebook and Twitter that you put up?
No.
If there is some relevant content on your website.
That's right. So if you are sharing, of course, an article that you've posted to your website, then you would add the direct link to that article on your website. You won't always be adding links. It's advisable because you want to drive people back to your website because that is where all of your information is hosted. That is where they will be able to learn more about us. And this is a thing that you would discuss within your organization because your Facebook is now, for many organizations, it has become the space where you are sharing your content anyway. It has become the place where if you want to communicate something to your wide audience in real time, immediately, you're doing it on Facebook. So it does become a issue like, do I want to drive people back to my website? Is it really necessary? But if you think about all of the information that you are sharing on your on your website, then yes, you would want to share the link. So it's obviously content related. It would have to speak to the content that you are sharing in the moment. So yes, and it also speaks to your content calendar and what you're sharing on your when you create your content calendar for the month, you would know what kind of links to be sharing at what point.
It does. I'm sure it makes planning a lot easier in terms of what your social media presence would be. So you could plan even your year ahead, like say, for instance, if there's World Water Day, you might want to post something around different days or commemorative moments of your organization. So it's quite nice to be able to organize your tweets and your social media presence.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you see? I had a quick look at Hootsuite's website, and they have. Nick, I'm just going to take back the screen quickly. there's quite a few live webinars on Hootsuite. So if you guys are enjoying the webinars, there's quite a few interesting ones coming up. So you can get different perspectives. So there's on-demand webinars and live webinars, and there's a whole list of different webinars that you can listen to. So the key to more effective Facebook campaigns, creating social campaigns that
okay, not
convert
just
people.
Yet. Don't watch it just yet.
Not just yet. Oh yes. No. You can watch it next week on your public holiday. We're not having a webinar. So yes, so there's actually lots of webinars out there that are happening and that are really good resources if you are wanting to learn or to look into different aspects that we've touched on over the last 9 weeks. So there's lots of resources out there.
In fact, in my preparation for some of my webinars, I actually go to, I look on YouTube for inspiration, for ideas, for the flow of our webinars. But of course, it's sometimes very much business related. The language is very business speak, marketing speak. So I obviously would like to make it more relevant for our audience, for us as in the NGO world. So yes, it's I advise that everyone would go to actually look at what is happening online, because there are very many of these kind of webinars.
And I have seen quite a few webinars aimed at non-profit organizations. So I've seen quite a few webinar invites around fundraising, for instance. And so there are a lot of webinars out there. It does seem to be the new trend, and people are joining up for a lot of different webinars. So it's been quite interesting to see the trend.
One webinar, one platform or website in particular one website that I like in particular is NP Tech for Good. Can we share my screen again? I know, sorry for jumping in between, but I want to share my screen for two reasons. I wanted to show that website, as well as I want to show you a content calendar, which I will go through next week as well, an idea of what a content calendar would look like. So this is nptechforgood.com. They specifically look at nonprofits and technology, and how we can, of course, our fundraising and what kind of technology we can be using. So you can see it looks at all the ones we've touched on over the past few weeks. I really do enjoy coming to this website to just simply read about the great things. I think it was the Instagram webinar. Yes, the Instagram webinar where I found great 5 tips for NGOs on how to use Instagram for publishing your content, for campaigning, and I found those on this website. I did credit the website because I think everyone should be checking this website out, because especially because they really do provide really good ways to fundraise and use social and mobile media. Of course, here and there it's a bit tricky because it is quite US focused, but no reason why we can't jump the gun and be ahead of the others. So yes, that is nonprofit tech.
Nick, perfect. Nick, I see that there's a couple of questions. Was that were you wanting to show those on your screen?
Yep. Also, we might unmute Elroy depending on how engaged his questioning might be. So.
Should we maybe do Naledi Solang? I may have missed this during the presentation, but how many social media platforms can be added on Hootsuite?
So I mentioned a few in particular, Naledi.
Nicole?
Hello? Hello? Am I there? Am I there? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're there.
Okay. I mentioned in particular that you can add Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus, YouTube. I'm not too sure about this one in particular, and LinkedIn. But I'm pretty sure there are more that you can add. If we can just take a look, we can actually see which ones they've got on offer. So yes, you can add Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, LinkedIn, WordPress, and Instagram from onto your dashboard, and you can manage all of those platforms from this dashboard.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then of course you can add your other Flickr, your other apps. You integrate it into. I'm not too sure how you integrate them, but we spoke about Flickr. There's YouTube, so I guess you'd just be able to integrate the kind of links and the type of managing those things very simply from the dashboard as well, but not as a column or as a actual panel on your dashboard.
Mm.
So yes, and then Alroy said,
Thanks, Ellie.
good, Dick.
Elroy, Hootsuite and T-Tweet today.
Oh, well, I guess yes, you as
Do you want to try and contribute audio, Elroy?
Yes, hi everybody.
hi,
Hi
Alroy.
Nicole and Wendell and Nicholas. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful. I could be a student again. It's been fun. Thank you. It's so useful. I wish I could have attended earlier webinars.
I'm
You
glad
guys are doing a wonderful job.
I'm glad it was useful to you. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, the one thing that I've been thinking about a lot during this whole presentation is typically TweetDeck and Hootsuite makes an assumption that you've got a smartphone, that you link to fairly strong bandwidth, that you've got a laptop. But many of our partners that attended the first digital seminar were finding innovative ways and to include people not only in LSM 9 and 10 to participate in the world of the World Wide Web. And Mixit, I believe, is a South African invention. And Amandla.mobi is an initiative that particularly raised awareness on advocacy issues amongst young people. We saw that with the work of Paul and Koketso Moeti. My question is are there Twitter and Hootsuite and TweetDeck interfaces between more, let's call it, less sophisticated and perhaps more primitive technology that kind of allows somebody in Trofim Vaba or Veldrif or Pofadder to get a message through, like huge corruption happening here by SASA. They've been robbing our sisters and our disabled brothers and our grannies from money. How do they get that message in a rural place into a global place?
Yeah. Oh gosh, big question there, Alroy. But I think yeah, we've been looking. This webinar series has been looking at all of these tools and technologies, a wide range of them. Unfortunately, you've missed the one where we looked at WhatsApp and Mixit in particular, and looked into Mixit Reach, which are tools which have been created specifically for the South African market, and where organizations like Love Life and I forget now the others that are already using a tool like Mixit for smaller organizations, for work happening in smaller communities, and specifically for community work, community outreach kind of projects. And I think, unfortunately, the tools that we have been looking for are digital, that are speaking to the World Wide Web. It is a tool that it does require the use of smartphones. Our webinar looking at mobile technologies did touch on things like Mixit, which that does give you the more lower that doesn't require the smartphone. However, this is specifically looking at digital campaigning in its entirety with using technology and the technologies that we have available. And one of the things that we said at the beginning of this webinar series is that you as an organization will have to go back to the drawing board and decide what will work for you as an organization. It was advised that you will possibly buy a smartphone for the organization. Yes, we know there aren't funds for such things, but in today's digital age, these are unfortunately things we have to invest in to make our efforts more meaningful in order to make an impact. If our audiences are online, if they are using these tools and technologies, then unfortunately we need to make the extra effort to actually be there as well. And even if it is as small as buying the low entry smartphones, that the Alcatels that have the functionality for you to go onto a web browser and be able to view Facebook, then so be it. But I think it is the type of investment that you as an organization will have to make for the long term. Yes, also another thing that I must also say that we've said also throughout is that unfortunately data costs in South Africa are high. And again, it is something that we have to be prepared for going forward in our digital campaigning efforts. If we want to get our message across to our donors, to our wider audiences, then then perhaps these are the kind of sacrifices, or if I can call it that we have to make.
Yeah, I think there are priorities that organizations need to decide on in terms of what sort of platforms they're looking for. So it is quite hard decisions, but I also feel that it is quite important to have some sort of presence online, and it's a vital way to get your message out.
Yeah, and I think things like Twitter are your least. Exactly like you're saying there, Elroy, you would advise something like Twitter, and it requires the least amount of energy. You are speaking to a humongous audience as opposed to your Facebook, and if you think about, if you have an organization website, then this speaks to what we were saying earlier, Wendell, about sharing of links. Then we want to drive audiences to our websites. So just tweet and tweet and tweet and add your website link within that tweet so that we know that we're sending our messages to our audiences at large that will grow. One more thing. Yes?
Okay, well, we are 7 minutes over time, so I'm not sure if there's any other questions. Nick, is there another question?
From Elroy, yes?
Myro, if you just unmute him.
Oh, sure. There we go, Elroy.
Hi, thanks again. I appreciate your answers and I agree with you completely. And if the Woza Moya staff are with us still, we were faced with that challenge. The examples I gave you were real ones, Nicole and Wendell, in our Hand Up Our Grants campaign. So what the Black Sash did, and if you don't mind, I'd like to send a link about how we bought 10 like first line entry tablets. No, we bought 20 for our Making All Voices Count project, and we developed an app through Code for SA, and standardized questionnaires were done as part of our community monitoring project. And using very, very basic smartphones, not USSD platform phones, we were able to produce quite a bit of literature in that regard. And I would want to encourage other NGOs and CBOs to do that, because in the bigger scheme of things, it's not expensive at all. The biggest expense is buying the data, but using it carefully and wisely.
Yes. It would be great.
But I think, Elroy, also your comment about human resources, I think, is also an important element for organizations to consider, is having a person whose role it is to manage those platforms and either to monitor Hootsuite or TweetDeck or whatever sort of management tool you use, to be able to put time and effort into those, because I think that's often the area that people overlook. So they might buy the equipment and the data, but it's also about having the people with the skills and the time to be able to do it. Okay, Nick, do you know if there's any other questions out there? Have we missed out anybody?
Not that I can see. I'm just double checking. Nope. All looks good.
Great.
Just one thing. Did Roy not say he wanted to share a link?
Yes. Roy, do you want to share it here on, you can put it in the chat or the question functionality, and then we can pop it up onto the blog or send it around on email?
Yes, I'm sharing it now.
Excellent.
Okay, I'll paste it onto the Word document.
Perfect. And then we can pop it up onto the blog as well. So thank you, Nicole. That was a really interesting session. I think it's all coming together and all the bits are starting to fit. And I think it's been lovely to see the progression of the webinars over the last 9 weeks and how we've got to the point where you can now pull them into a management tool and start making the best use of as many platforms as you feel is appropriate. So I think it was a really nice, Stu is asking when's the webinar ending. We should end in the next few minutes. So just to remind you, next week is our last webinar, and the webinar title is Monitoring, Measuring and Reporting on Your Digital Campaigns. So a really important part to be able to monitor and evaluate how well you are doing. So there's our list of webinars that we've covered so far, and our very last one next week. So just a reminder that we do have the information on the blog, so the recordings as well as some of the links, and people can go up and add comments. Our Oxfam in South Africa Access WordPress account. And then just a final quick thank you to Nick and to Nicole and to everybody in the audience for your engagement and attendance today. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you, and thank you, Wendell, and you too. Have a great one. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers,
See you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.